Number 54 is building a house, lot 3. She said, lot 3's over there. She owns the whole business, I guess. And she sold off.
You must have scared the Jesus.
Okay. Good evening and welcome to this meeting of the Old Kings Highway Historic District Committee for the Town of Yarmouth, which is being held in accordance with Chapter 470 of the Acts of 1973 as amended. It is now 7:15 p.m., Monday, April 11th, 2022, and we're at the Yarmouth Town Hall Hearing Room located at 1146 Route 28, South Yarmouth. Moreover, pursuant Chapter 20 of the Acts of 2021, considering certain COVID-19 measures, this meeting is run in a hybrid mode. So we may have people joining us on video. There are 10 new applications for certificates of appropriateness and 3 table certificates of appropriateness that came from previous meetings, and they had been listed, if you were here early, on the agenda that it was posted. Please be reminded that our committee's main purpose is to review items for appropriateness and setting, and it's the responsibility of the applicant to comply with the regulations of other town boards and departments, including the building department, conservation, engineering, health, zoning, and the sign inspector. You should know that there is a 10 calendar day appeal period starting once the decision is filed with the town clerk. Any person aggrieved by a decision tonight can appeal to the Regional Commission of the Old Kings Highway. Our office administrator will be happy to answer any questions you have with respect to that process. The first item on our agenda tonight is for construction of a new 2,400 square foot residence on Lot 3, Great Western Road. Starbucks Construction Services, the owner, and Renata Mello is the agent. So Renata, you could move up to this table and this microphone for you. This is on the same piece of property that we dealt with last meeting,
Yes, sir.
right?
Evening, everybody.
Hi.
And this is sort of a pork chop with a long driveway and the house is in the back.
That is correct. Pretty much the same specs, same materials on the first house. Just
Similar materials.
just the only difference is the window grills, the grids on the windows. Change it up a little bit.
Are there any abutters present?
There are, but I'm working directly with the builder for the concerns I have. Excuse me.
Pella windows.
Yes, sir. White cedar shingles. It's going to be AZAC trim, painted white. Landmark pewter wood roof shingles. Clopay garage doors, Therma-Tru front door. Yep. Front porch is going to be wrapped around columns made out of AZAC.
We had this in the other lot, and I may be wrong, but there were some concerns, weren't there, about runoff?
The water, yeah,
Yeah.
that's what the gentleman is speaking of as well.
Oh, so he's gonna speak to that? No, what do you,
I-
which?
I have the site plan, which I don't think it matters in this meeting.
Right, this is not
So
our
I have the site
purview.
plan that I will introduce to him, and I spoke with John, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay,
Spoke with John on the phone, and I mentioned to him that I can also meet with my surveyor slash engineer on site to kind of make him at ease.
so John, you're here as an abutter?
I'm here in the butter, correct?
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, why would you attend this meeting, historic, about this project if it's, is there
Trying to
any
ca-
concern
He was
you
catching
had?
me.
Pardon?
I'm trying to
He's trying to
you
catch
over.
me.
I got it.
Yeah.
Should have stayed at home.
Uh-huh.
I think I contacted the town, the engineer a week ago. I think between then and now, the plans have been submitted. I wasn't able to get them.
Right,
I wanted to make sure that we do get a chance to look at the plans. I know that's not this office's.
right, but you have, you nailed him.
Right, so
Okay.
I'll capture, I'm gonna hopefully get a glance at these plans after the meeting, and I can get copies from the town if I need them. The builders told me he submitted them. So.
Okay, good.
Well, once after you guys have, the first one approved, we have to go through the whole
Uh,
process. So it takes, yeah.
Yep, steps.
That's why he wasn't able to find the plans. I had to
I
go to the
gotcha.
water department first.
Gotcha. Well, I think it's in keeping with the other one and it's a nice design, so.
Thank you.
And these are spec, it's a spec house, right?
It's a spec house,
Yeah.
yes.
Like the other one.
I particularly like the array of doghouse dormers.
Mhm.
I'm a fan of doghouse
Yeah.
dormers. So
When you talk about the other one, which one, what are you talking about?
Lot two.
Yeah, so it wasn't
Last
2 weeks
meeting.
ago, I think it was 4 weeks ago.
It was 4 weeks ago, I believe. Yes, I did it from home. I did it the Zoom.
Yeah.
The,
Oh,
the
okay.
week that we had the fence issue.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
And she was the same person. She stayed on because she had a problem with it. So,
Okay.
yeah.
It's nice to see you in person.
Thank you. I told myself I might as well go there. I thought it was only Zoom that first time. Then when I read it, it actually said, yeah, optional. So I apologize for that.
No problem. Either or.
So any other questions? We have them here.
I'll move to approve the application.
I'll second.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye,
Aye.
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 unanimous. Very good. Now, if you would come up and have to sign off on this, if you would. It's just that if you're gonna make any changes, let us know in advance, so we don't go out there, do an inspection. Well, it depends the shade.
A fuchsia.
Or fuchsia and yellow.
There you go.
Fuchsia
And
yellow
yellow,
with fuchsia
yellow
doors.
color. There you go. Yeah, you got the right
Or
idea.
blue for Ukraine, right? Yellow, blue.
Oh, there you go. Yes. Might have a hard time selling it, though. Then again,
You'd be surprised.
yeah.
Thank
you,
you.
guys.
Oh, I need that.
Good night.
You'll get a copy. We'll give you a copy. We'll give you a copy.
Thank you.
Okay, let's see. Right. On down. Let's see. The next item is concerned with replacing garage doors at 302 Route 6A. Michael and Margaret Dwyer are the owners, and Midcape Garage Door is the agent. Now, we may be seeing Mid-Cape. Good,
There he is.
okay. Can you speak so we can hear you?
Good evening.
Good, good, okay. We're communicating.
Technology is a wonderful thing.
Sometimes.
Saves gas.
So this is the one that we have a letter, correct?
Yes.
Great. And is this, where they're on Route 6A? Are they 123.18, do you think? Lot?
There
It's
was,
not critical, but I'm just curious where they sit.
it's this
They're
one.
302 6A.
Well, the problem is that there were two lot plans submitted,
Yeah.
for this one and the adjacent lot.
Wait,
And it's this one that we're talking about.
Right.
Mhm.
And the garage is situated over on the right side. It's set back the most of those little blocks.
123, 17. Oh, no, I'm sorry, that's O'Connell.
So the garage doors are visible from Main Street as you're driving down.
Oh, this is
They're
just-
quite nice, so I guess.
The ones they're
no reason
using,
to-
yeah.
Yeah,
We have this 298. Yeah. No, it's
so I guess there's no reason to pick it apart,
I mean, it's-
really.
It's in front.
So you're just replacing the doors themselves. The openings remain the same?
That's correct.
And the color remains the same also, right?
That's correct.
Oh,
I thought they were black.
Copper.
Either way.
We,
I'll move to approve.
hold on a second, please.
Okay.
We got a letter from a neighbor who
Mhm.
was in favor of this change. Michael and Susan Kanow, I'm not sure of pronunciation, at 303 Route 6A. They're writing in regards to a letter they received last week relative to the items coming up this evening on the agenda. We have reviewed the information posted by the Town of Yarmouth website, referenced in the letter. In our view, the replacement garage doors are high quality, completely compatible with the decorum of the house and the Old Kings Highway Historic District. We therefore offer our full support for the Dwyer's project. Okay.
So I just have one question. I think it's rhetorical. I hope so. We're talking about the rectangular transom lights, correct? Not the arched lights.
That's correct.
Okay.
Was there a motion to? approve?
Yes, I'll move to approve.
I'll second.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. Aye.
Good, thank you. So we can sign off on it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
I guess there's somebody trying to get on. You're dealing with that, right, Lisa?
I am,
Great.
yes.
Hi there.
Hi,
And you're Steve?
Steve Kelly from Sunrun.
The next item is concerned with installation of 24 solar panels at 86 Eileen Street. The homeowner is James Donovan, and Sunrun Installation Services are the agent, and Sunrun, Steve Levine, is it?
Steve Kelly.
Kelly, okay.
Steve, what is that street that runs behind? Is that just like a
There's,
private drive or something?
there's a cul-de-sac that goes down to the pond, but there's no access to Mill Pond at all.
Yeah.
And then there's power lines that run behind the house. Sort of up on a little bluff from that dead end cul-de-sac.
Okay.
Rear of the home.
Are there any abutters present? Or other interested parties?
Well, this is on the rear of the house and as noted, the question about the semi-road in the back. So I
It
think
doesn't look
it's
like there's
in keeping.
really any abutters
Mm-mm.
behind it.
right.
And the roof line isn't visible even from the little street in the back.
So I move to approve.
I'll second.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Come on.
Okay.
Okay.
Mhm.
So this roof is a dormer roof, correct?
8-degree pitch, pretty flat. On the rear of the home.
I mean, it looks like there's a pretty dense stand of evergreens behind the.
Yeah, there is
Oh,
actually. There's a
sure.
couple of pretty good
Mhm.
height ones.
Right.
Plus the roof is pretty flat.
Yeah, you can't really see it from the front. You may be able to see it from the side street.
I looked from the
Okay.
side street.
Mhm.
You have to really kind of croon for it.
Are there any abutters to this property or other interested parties?
Did you introduce this one yet, Richard?
No,
Yeah.
You haven't done it? Come on, Richard,
No.
time's a wasting.
okay. We got the paperwork done for the other one. This again is a solar panel installation, 19 solar panels, which are mounted on the roof at the rear of 36 Barnacle Road.
Vote on the last one?
And Steve Kelly is here again
Right there. We
to
voted on it?
represent
This
Sunrun
one?
and
This one?
the homeowner, Stephen
We voted on
Levine
this?
Trust.
We voted on-
So anything peculiar on this one, Steve?
Oh, we did Eileen. yeah.
Not really, just that
Barnacle
it's
Road.
extremely low
Barnacle,
pitch.
yeah.
It's an 8 pitch.
Which is what. I-
So,
Barnacle
and it's a
Road,
dormer on the back of the home.
Yeah.
So,
And did Sunrun design these? This is not, these aren't being taken over by, what is it?
Vivint.
Vivint.
No, the
Vivint.
last two projects that I'll speak to
Yeah.
later is, those were Vivint projects that Sunrun took over.
Yeah, all right.
And we tabled it last week because there were panels on the front of the home and I hadn't been down here to look at it.
Yeah.
And we'd like
I
to,
was just curious. We'll get to those.
Is that Risenol?
yes, Risnol and Early Red
Early
Berry.
Red berry.
So those are, I'd like to cancel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I
okay.
don't think tabling is a good idea now. We'll just cancel and resubmit.
Bingo, but that's for another moment.
Good, okay.
Well, so I think we asked a lot of pertinent questions. Yeah,
So we have a motion then?
I think so. Motion to
I move
approve?
to approve.
Okay, second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, so you're approved on this one, Steve.
Oh.
Okay. So, the next item is again an installation of solar panels at 45 Skipper Lane. The Sunrun Installation Services handling this again. The homeowner is Kilholm Noons. So this is 28 solar panels. They're 325 watt units. So we end up with 9.1 kilowatts.
So it's duly noted. They're not, it's page one of the renderings, but I don't know that that's going to help anybody. But they are visible from early Red Berry Lane.
Right.
Yes, kind of kicking myself because I didn't realize that was Early Red Berry Lane because that was the other project is. I would have looked at it. If you come around from the backside, you can see the back of the roof. The house is set back from Early Red Berry Lane a fair amount.
Quite a bit.
There's a row of new evergreens pretty extensively planted along Early Red Berry Lane.
And along the back.
And you
Yeah.
really can't see it from Early Red Berry. That takes a sharp turn right there.
Yeah.
What's the roof pitch there? Well, it's pretty standard, isn't it? It's not
Yes.
very, it's what, 45?
I don't think that much,
No, it's not that
38.
steep.
Okay,
Might be.
so
could be
not, that's not
7
gonna
inch.
help us.
Yeah.
Well,
It's minimally visible
I believe it's.
and there's a lot of trees growing there, so
Mm-hmm.
it should work out, I think.
All right, so I move to approve.
I'll second.
Okay. So all those in favor? Cindy?
Aye.
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 Abstain.
Aye. Aye.
Okay.
And you don't need me to sign anything, Richard?
Yeah, I do. I was putting 3 of them together for you, so. After.
Foolishly, I brought in a red pen. I don't know if that's okay. Or if that's okay, I'll use it, and if not.
I'll loan you a blue bar.
We have pens up here.
Okay.
You a teacher in a former life?
So we did mention the other 2 projects that,
We'll get to them. We have to wait.
okay.
Gotta go in order.
We'll skip you.
Yep.
Saw a Vivint truck in my travels today. They haven't painted them yet.
No, they haven't. It probably says owned a Sunrun company or something to that effect on the side. Quite a transition. But I've been with Sunrun almost 7 years, so been good to me.
Okay, so now I have 3 documents for you to sign, which basically say that if you're going to make changes in this, please let us know in advance. Okay, so. Oh, that's all
I'm
right.
gonna be here for a little while and I'll get a different pen and sign them.
Oh, yeah.
He'd rather you left them here. Papers get lost so easy.
Good. Great, thank you very much.
You're gonna stay for the other ones? Yeah.
Okay. So we'll switch gears here now and go into some painting. This is item 6 on the agenda. The home is at 904 Route 6A. Bruce and Christine Goodwin are the owners. Reliable Fence Company is the agent. The objective here is to paint the house and the shed gray, shutters black, and also to build a fence, which is where Reliable Fence comes into the picture. So we have who?
We have Bruce and Christine.
Yes.
Okay, both. Okay.
You're at the end of Apache.
Yes.
Yes, exactly.
Which is nice to access to Tucket.
Yes.
Peterson's Market is lovely as well.
Well, you don't even have to cook, just go.
Oh, our dog has
The
decided.
dog wants
you
to
as
join the
well.
meeting too.
Children and puppies always get a lot of
Brought her into the
attention.
meeting.
She loves the beach, I'll tell you. Well, she's gonna be disappointed when she gets kicked off in May.
Tell us about it. Everybody feels that way who's here year round. The dog.
So you gave us a couple of different grays, and both of them are very nice. I personally would prefer the darker one, which isn't terribly dark.
Is that the Sherwin-Williams one? Our painter prefers Sherwin-Williams, but we knew that you listed the other brand, so we just wanted to make sure we were in compliance.
Oh,
That is a Sherwin.
no, they're both good quality paints. And
Yes, and answer your question, it's the Sherwin-Williams one.
Yeah, we like that one better too, I think.
Chelsea Gray.
Chelsea Gray.
Chelsea Gray. That would work. And it'll look good on the shed as well. Good. Okay, so that's
Either
the
way,
color.
it's an improvement.
Yeah, it's deteriorating quite a bit. It's been occupied by renters for quite a few years.
Yeah, it appeared you just bought it about last year. It's
Just in
2021.
December, yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank
We
you.
love it. Now I just have to figure out how to quit my job so I can move there permanently. Problem is, that's how I'm paying for it.
Now, the fencing, there's a picture of a fence in a package, which was cedar board fence.
Almost in the back.
And it basically goes from the side of the house over towards the street there, Walden Way, and has a gate in it. And then heads north parallel to Walden Way. And will be, there's some trees and shrubbery outside of it.
Yeah.
To break up the view.
And they know they have to face the finished side to the public.
Yes,
Mhm.
yeah, for sure.
Are these, I think this is the same on both sides. Is this the one you use in the picture that we have?
Yeah,
The
look,
fence
The cedar fence is what we're planning to use.
on both sides?
We're only doing the one side near Peterson's because the idea is to cut down on the noise from the coolers that operate over there.
yeah,
No, what she meant was, is the aspect of the fence the same on each side of that fence?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. They didn't tell us.
This particular one is, but
it might be a
I would think
horizontal
so.
bar.
We would put the prettier side facing outward.
there you go. That's the answer.
Yeah, for sure. And we were thinking of even putting some shrubbery or some flowers in front of it.
Well, there is shrubbery there already
Oh, right on the side, but on the front too.
on the front, yeah.
Yeah, it'll break up the view.
I move to approve if we're.
And Can I ask my abutter question first?
Oh, absolutely.
Good.
Are there any abutters to the property or interested parties? Okay, you're on.
I move to approve.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye,
Aye.
I,
Aye.
Aye.
it'll be nice.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much. We are very grateful and thank you for your time.
Welcome,
Before
welcome
you
to the
leave,
Cape.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Favor for you. Your house, once upon a time, had a wood fence along the street,
6A.
6A. And I think they were a company that did surveying, were occupying that. They must have rented it. And they replaced the wooden fence with a plastic fence. And very shortly after that, I think it was in the winter, a plow going down the road, throwing snow, hit the fence and broke it up a bit. And so they ended up having to repair it. And we all go by that corner so many times that this was a real nuisance that we have a plastic fence right on Route 6A. And so I would ask you, as you get comfortable in your house and put up this other fence, that you might consider changing that to a wood, can look exactly the same. So
No, thank you. We just straightened up the trees. We pulled them up. I don't know if you noticed that they had fallen to the side and we pulled those up. And we're just trying to figure out financially how to do the different things. But we did wonder about that fence because the fence company told us, how did it end up being allowed to be there? Did they just do it?
we never came down too heavily on them, you know, and so I said, one of these days we'll get to it. And we get the opportunity, but there's no rush, you know.
I promise if we have the finances, we will do it. Right now, of course, we're sort of, we don't even know when we're going to do this other fence because it's come in at a price that we can't afford just yet. But we wanted to submit it right away. So it might be some time. How long do we have on all of this?
Year.
A year.
Okay.
You have to renew it at the end of a year.
Okay. I promise we will do our best. The painting is going to happen first. Everything else is budget contingent, like I said, back to that job. But I agree with you. I think a wooden fence would be prettier.
Thank you very much. And good luck with, you know, with the painting.
Thank you very
Thank you.
much.
Welcome.
Good night. Sounds confusing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. There are some benefits to having an old codger on the committee. As long as it's remember, you can still remember things.
There you go.
Thanks.
Two copies of that page in here. I just wonder what was going on here.
Oh, no wonder you're confused. So we don't have any plans for this barn, huh?
I know that. I was going to bring that up myself.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
The next item is concerned with building a barn at 904 Routes, no, at 142 Route 6A. And the homeowners are Vincent and Taryn Sukawa. Are they here or online?
Zoom.
Say something, Taryn and Vincent. You're muted right now.
There you go.
Unmuted. Hello? Taryn? Vincent?
Not sure.
There they are.
Okay.
Can you hear us?
You may have to unmute yourself.
They're unmuted.
They look like they're
I
frozen.
think they're frozen. Yeah, I think they're.
Were there any drawings of this on?
No.
I didn't see any in the package.
No, there's a very lengthy description on the back of the first.
There's no
Hi.
picture.
Hi. Hello, can you guys hear us?
Yes,
Hello?
yes.
Okay. Sorry for that.
You can speak more softly.
Okay.
You have plans for this barn yet?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Doesn't look like you submitted them.
Oh, no, we did. I submitted the elevation plans, the perimeter plans, so not engineered plans. You should have them.
No, we have a
We do.
full description.
There's letters from butters, there's the elevations, there's photographs.
Oh, photographs. Oh,
Nothing.
No photographs.
Oh, boy.
Photographs.
I don't think, I think
The photographs are all of the house.
no. Need plans, y'all?
No.
I think this is a-
Technical snafu that we didn't get into the package, or they didn't. The right parties here.
it could have-
Is Lisa there?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't ever saw any elevations been.
Oh, yeah, no, there were, now you have the package with all the photographs and the letters from the abutters and,
No.
No,
wow, that is bizarre. I actually dropped them off, in person there. I apologize. I don't know where they could have gone or what could have happened. As you can see, I'm holding them in my hand for review.
We believe you.
Table?
Table it.
I moved to table the application until the next meeting.
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor of tabling?
Aye.
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 I
And
don't know.
when will that next meeting be?
The next meeting.
Next meeting.
Two weeks from tonight.
25th.
Thank you.
Sorry about that.
All right, guys, we'll try to figure it out and, thank you.
Thank you. Great, thank you.
Everything sounds great.
Yeah, it'll be beautiful. It's unfortunate we didn't, somehow they got lost, but we'll figure it out.
You get it.
We'll see how it is.
Good night.
Good night. Good night. Bye-bye.
Good. Okay, the next item, we go back to painting. Painting clapboards, shingles, shutters, doors, and trim at 53 Valhalla Drive. Keith O'Brien and Kimberly Norton O'Brien
Every
are
street.
the owners, and Richard Conway is the agent. I assume he is the painter.
Yeah, every street around except that
Wonder why.
Don't see anybody,
one.
huh?
Far off the beaten track.
Yeah.
I didn't
Might
think
not
so,
be
but
anybody
Let me zoom
zooming in.
Yeah, there's nobody else
There's
online.
nothing there. There's no blue line that you.
Nobody else
That's it?
there,
It's
so.
right down here.
And nobody is in the audience
Nowhere to get
here.
there.
Nobody's representing Keith O'Brien and Kimberly Norton O'Brien.
Do we sign anything every table?
I think we'll table that too.
Every table?
I'll move to table this application until the next meeting.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
The next item is to replace roof shingles as needed and replace the skylight at 69 Mayflower Terrace. The homeowner is John Hamrick, and Long Roofing Company is the agent.
Aha. Now we have takers.
He's a gentleman from Long Roofing. Okay. You see your ad on television all the time.
Oh, yeah?
Mhm.
You must do a lot of work up around
Haven't made it on the
Boston.
commercials yet.
Yeah, now, I think this one's a little different.
It is indeed. Did you do, or did the company do a roof in Yarmouth on the way to 28, Route 28? You might not know the
Wood
area
Road.
well enough, but
Corner of Wood Road.
yes, yeah,
It has red
a red
metal
metal
shingles.
roof.
Not if it's shingles. We don't.
No,
do
no, metal.
They're,
Metal standing seam?
no,
No, I
not
think,
standing seam.
no.
Okay.
Yeah.
They look like shingles.
No, yeah, that wasn't us then.
Okay.
We do strictly recycled aluminum standing seam.
Oh. Very interesting.
We've never approved of metal roofs on a house like that. We have done small quantities of standing seam that maybe it's on a porch
Like an accent.
on the front of a house, an accent thing.
Mhm.
And they were black. There was maybe 3 cases of it over several years. And we did one recently. I think it was up on Sister Circle. Black standing seam roof. But never a regular full roof on a house.
There's a first time for everything.
Did you bring a sample with you?
I do, of the metal.
Yes.
Yeah, if you want to
Oh,
see it,
wow.
want to hold it?
Is
Oh,
that
wow.
the color that you're proposing?
Yes.
It's
darker
almost brown.
Yeah, it
Looks darker
so
than-
colonial red is actually 3 parts brown, 1 part red.
It looks more like this.
Huh. So everybody at home can see it. You
So
want to get a
how's the
shot
finish
of that?
applied? How is the finish applied?
It's actually applied at the factory. So they use a paint called Kynar. It's more like a powder coat, so it's never going to have to be repainted.
Is it scratch or chip or?
So the paint itself is warranted for 35 years. So it's designed to last for a really long time. The paint's the same stuff they use on like bridges and skyscrapers, things they don't want to have to paint that often.
Right.
And there's basically a primer, there's corrosion barriers on both sides of the metal. And we're going to use a couple different underlayments to both make the house more energy efficient, but also waterproof. And it's going to be a combination. This house is a little unique. It's not all pitched enough to do standing seam metal. So half of the other, or there's going to be 1,100 square feet of a PVC membrane. That's what we use on flat roofing.
Mhm.
And what color will that be?
Gray.
That'll all be at the rear of the
And
house.
It's all flat, so you can't really see it,
Mhm.
and it's all on the back side of the house. So I don't know if you have.
Well, we have this.
Yes. So do you only have that page of that document?
No, we've got,
So if I can show you.
Yeah,
So the flat
please.
parts are going to be there, 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 and then this dormer here. So they're all on the back side and the right side dormer.
I can pass.
So
it
this says
around.
replace shingles as needed. You're doing the whole roof,
Doing the
right?
whole roof. Yeah, I don't know.
I
And
don't
you're
know where
taking
that
out the
came
2
from.
back skylights and leaving
There's
the
only
one on
gonna-
the other part of the house?
Yes, there's one skylight, and we're taking out
Two in the back,
Two in the
three in the
back.
back.
Three in the back.
Yeah.
And then, will this appear as one solid sheet or is it?
So standing seam, if you've ever been up to, they're very prominent in like New Hampshire and Maine because they're really good at shedding snow. But they also have a really high wind rating and we use aluminum. So it's good with the salt air too. So it's not
Right.
going to rust out.
Mhm.
So it's going to be basically there's 16-inch panels that are all double crimp seamed. So you're going to see nice clean lines down the,
With vertical
vertical lines.
seams. Very nice.
So maybe what might help everybody is there's a picture that the View 3D model with the 3 shrubs in the foreground.
Mhm.
So all of what we can see here will be standing seam
Yes.
and all of, because the flat roofs are in the rear.
Yep. Or
Or-
the dormer on the right side, which you can't see from the street level.
Right. And so the existing paint, which is a kind of a gray,
Mhm.
will stay a kind of a gray.
We'll be repainting, actually, we'll probably be reshingling and repainting. We're going to keep as close to the same color as
And you keeping
possible.
the brick in front?
Yes.
Are you painting the brick?
The brick is painted now. It's one of the
Right.
reasons we'll probably keep the exact color as close
Okay.
as we can get.
Well, this is a first, but I like it. I think, and I don't think it, I wouldn't even categorize it as red. That's probably,
Oh,
a
that's why I brought a sample
A
because I thought red you
misnomer.
might think like fire engine red,
yeah,
where it's not.
yeah.
Yeah,
So-
when I saw the color patches on the sheet of paper, I thought I'd go with the darker, the terracotta. But the sample is darker than,
Yeah, and I can show you terracotta is
Yeah,
almost
these-
orangey, where this is
yeah, maybe.
nice, right?
So the brick in the front's painted currently,
Yes.
so it wouldn't be like trying to match the brick or anything with that roof color.
No.
It's hard to tell.
Oh,
There's about 200 square
Like
feet
painted
of
white now or
brick
like
siding.
It's a light gray.
oh, so you're going to bring it back to
No, they're gonna keep
brick,
it
or you're going to keep it the gray?
We might actually go a little darker on the gray.
Oh,
when we
okay, but
go
you're not
next
going to
time,
go back
but
to brick color?
no.
Okay. Gotcha.
That
Well,
would be really hard to do.
yes.
Yeah,
We'll be seeing each other a lot. This
Same
house is a
blessing.
challenge. It's going to need an awful lot done, and the roof is the most prominent thing right now that must be done first. But,
Mhm.
I
So-
look forward to seeing each and every one of you several more times.
So just to be clear, the portion of the roof that's going to be visible from the road is going to be raised seam?
Mhm.
right.
Yes.
The metal.
Right.
Yeah.
You say raised seam?
Well, standing
Yeah,
seam.
standing. Yeah.
Standing seam.
Standing seam, raised seam, yeah.
The entire roof is going to be standing seam, is that right?
Yes.
Well,
No, there's a
No,
couple of.
there's some flat
Other than
sections.
the flat
Yep,
sections.
but
Okay.
the rest of the roof is.
Got it.
Good.
And do you know any of your neighbors?
I know all of my immediate neighbors, everyone who is either directly across the street or abuts on one side or another.
Okay, and they're not here tonight.
They are not.
Have any of them been told your plan?
I have told my neighbor John directly to the side and behind me.
Yeah.
And I have told my neighbor on the house's right side.
Okay.
The folks across the street, we don't speak much. They actually own the house directly in front and directly to the house's left. So
Mhm. Well,
But they were all notified prior to this meeting.
yeah,
And I gather none of them are here.
guess not.
Okay.
Well, they've been notified.
I personally had a standing seam put on house up in Vermont, ski house in Mad River Glen.
Mhm.
And we made good use of it. One winter, we had like 15, 18 inches of snow on the roof, and we were getting worried that it's getting too heavy for the roof, and there's no way you could climb up there to fix it. So we had a nice sunny day like today it was here. And we had a wood burning stove. We stoked up full blast we heated the house up and we put on loud music. And the vibration from the 1812 overture did it. And
Brilliant.
the whole thing crashed down. And this is 3 stories up because we're built on a mountainside. You went in and you went down, 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 down. And so it was a long way for that crash, but did the job.
So what's the pitch of this roof that's gonna, where you're proposing putting this? metal roof?
Majority of it's 7 pitch. There's a little bit of 4 pitch.
So
and
it's
one
won't slide
pitch.
off as easily with a flatter. Lesser pitch is less likely to slide off. The snow.
Yeah,
I'm
and we're
saying.
gonna do snow guards over the
Doors.
doors and things like that. So, and if we do get
Right.
snow like Vermont at some point, it's not gonna injure anybody. But
You know,
And how
I
do
have the
you-
problem at my house, it says a 12-inch pitch.
yeah,
And the solar panels let go the snow
They
and
shed.
it
oh,
Yeah.
crashes down
sure.
and it condenses the snow. It's hard to shovel it. You can't, I just leave it. It's in the sun, it'll melt.
It'll melt.
Vermont house.
How do you, what's the gutter situation? How?
We're replacing all the gutters as well.
Uh-huh.
With white, we're doing white trim, white gutters at the same
Okay.
time.
All right.
It's like just a drip edge underneath. like
Yeah,
a
it's
regular
gonna, well, the
standard
drip
roof.
edge is gonna be the same color as the
Sounds like
metal.
we have a-
Gotcha.
Sounds
You're not
like
gonna
a
really
good
see it.
one.
It's gonna be behind the
Interesting.
gutter. But we just like to match it because
Yeah.
you can see it a little, instead of having a white line at the end, it'll just flow.
How'd you have to pick red?
You wouldn't want to see it.
Um,
on one of the streets.
I thought it
You know,
would look
it's where the
nice
roof is very visible.
from the pond,
It's not very
honestly.
Yeah.
It's, we, in our previous house in Falmouth, we put a red shingle roof on.
Hmm.
And it really just made the house look so much nicer. So I thought a little bit of dark red
Mhm.
would be a nice way to start revitalizing the house. I think Ms. Morrison drove by today and we're very interested in bringing it back to life. It's,
So are you a new owner then?
yes, we've been there 2 years and the work's been going very slowly, time and work and things like that, but we're eager to revive it.
Yeah, there's a house with a red roof, 200 yards away from my house, just off of North Dennis Road. It looks fine.
And it's a shingles. That
Regular
yours is
shingle roof,
Yeah.
with the dark.
All right.
I think metal is going to be becoming more prominent because it's, I mean, this especially it's recyclable and it's like
Yeah.
sustainable. You know, we do a ton of asphalt shingles too. The problem with that is they all end up in landfills.
Yeah.
This can be like melted down and repurposed.
Oh, yeah.
So
that
I think
is
it's
nice.
like sustainability wise, I
I-
think
I-
you're going to see a lot more metal.
Shingles are,
Life
sorry.
expect- I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
So what's the
80
life,
years.
80 years, because we have it, I had a ski house in Vermont too, that we put a standing seam metal roof on and
Yeah.
it lasts so much longer than either.
3 times longer than a normal shingle.
I'm always walking on Fallon's Pond and there's pieces of shingle that wash up all the time.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
it's just-
Well, I'm,
We have a motion on this?
Yeah, I think Mayflower Terrace is kind of an eclectic neighborhood. I think it'll work there. I move to approve.
all right.
Thank you.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. Aye.
Good. You're the first.
exciting day. right?
Trendsetter.
Making History.
Thank you very much.
Now, you have to sign a document says you're going to do it as planned here. And
No, that's okay.
Shall I sign it or the agent?
either one.
All right.
You didn't wear your tie. What's the matter with you?
Oh, you told me we weren't gonna get dressed up.
I told you you didn't need to, but if you wanted to.
I didn't know you had a ringer on this side of the table.
Thank you. Good luck with it all.
Looking around and nosing about.
All right, good night.
Good night.
Project.
So I'm going to be recusing myself from this one. Should I be sitting in the audience or just?
I usually go down the hall.
We're not that kind of group.
Not yet.
Okay. The next item is concerned with a signage, if you will, at 266 Route 6A, which is the Yarmouth New Church Preservation Foundation, I guess are the owners at this point. Come in, you can sit at the table, use the microphone.
Mr. Chairman, since I sit on the board of the YNCPF, I will recuse myself.
So I just have a question to start, two actually. Is Thatcher intentionally spelled that way?
That's the correct historic spelling of the family name. That's part of the history of Yarmouth, yes.
All right, because the surrounding streets are Thatcher.
Yeah, there's no T.
There's no T.
What's that?
There's no T. There's no second T in Thatcher or Thatcher.
Is that what you're questioning, a
Oh, I just-
potential T?
I wasn't sure, so I looked it up. I looked up the road, Thatcher Shore Drive, and it's, oh, there is no, one of them has a T. I just looked at it.
It's-
And one of them have a T and the other one not.
It's a-
Okay, I see though
Different
that it does
families.
not. Okay. The other thing is the arch at the top. I know it says the new church, Yarmouth New Church. I like the arch. I mean, can you just not keep it and not put that on it? You want to eliminate the arch completely?
I'm not sure I understand the question. The arched sign exists and we're proposing keeping that, and we're proposing a new sign that's rectangular.
Right, so you're eliminating the part that says built in 1870?
We're not eliminating that. The proposal is to actually keep the existing sign, move it closer to the building. And we have a grant from Care for the Cape and Islands to actually put a graphic panel in there that describes the history of the commons and of the building. So that would be accessible by pedestrians. And there's no information like that on the green or anywhere along those historic buildings. So, and they're often all closed. So
Where will that panel be located?
the proposal is to just move it closer to the building, so it gets absorbed by the architecture really nicely. So I don't think it would be very prominent, and it wouldn't be cluttered with our new sign if we could just move it a little closer to the
It's a
building.
really good idea.
And so we already have the funding for the graphics for that. So if it's approved, we could
I like
move
that
forward
name,
with that.
too. I think it's a good name.
This is exciting. It is so wonderful to have this being restored and taken care of. And the music venue is fantastic in there.
And the actual colors of the rectangular sign.
So I handed in 4 copies of the paint colors. Do you have those with you?
I have them if you would need them.
Okay.
It's blue and red and beige.
Oh, they're photocopied. That's too bad, actually.
Here, I have,
Yeah.
mine or not, so I can pass mine around.
So all of the colors selected,
That- No, I have actual.
yeah. All of the colors selected are from from your historic palette, with the exception of one very special color, which is the smoky gray. And that's the color of the interior paint. If you've been inside the building, it has that lovely smoky gray. And we would just like to use that as an accent along the side to give a little hint as to what happens inside. But all the other colors are on the historic palette.
So right where it's yellow on your photocopy, what will that color be?
So that's the lightest yellow that is submitted. Yeah, it's hard in a photocopy. That's why I submitted the paint colors, because
Yeah.
copiers never really show it.
More
But
of a
it's like a
cream.
very subtle pale yellow.
It's almost a cream.
Yeah,
more
it's
than
very creamy.
Yellow, yeah.
Cleaned up the Edward.
So
Correa.
nice.
Have you seen that?
Yeah.
It's gorgeous.
It is.
Just great. I mean, great things are going on.
So Marion, the new sign's going to have a panel at the bottom that you can change based on whatever your advertising is coming up.
Correct. We have that in our existing sign already. And so we would move that to this new sign so it could be more visible, because it's a little hard to see it right now. And that way the new sign could have all the historic information.
Mhm.
Is Diana not there anymore?
Diana's going to build the sign with me.
She's what?
Diana and I are building the sign together.
Oh, nice.
This is our, we're co-applicants. She couldn't make it tonight, but she works as a volunteer. She's no longer our events manager. We have a new events manager. She's kind of embarked on new things. But she'll be making the sign.
Now that she's finished backing the wind farm.
Backing the wind farm and making the signs up at the, she just did them for the Wildlife Center. So, yeah.
She's working at Wallah's now or something, isn't she?
At the design,
Oh, the
design
yeah,
works.
des-
Yeah,
Okay.
Design works.
What do you think, Richard?
I had a couple of comments. First, the moving the sign back toward the building a little bit works for me. I thought that still looks good. The one close to the roadway, though, I wonder if that would be better, a little bit more distance from the paving. Which I think, I didn't go over and walk the property today, but it seems that it goes up a little bit. There's a rise.
Yeah,
So it would be higher
right.
compared to the road level.
Maybe a little more visible.
And maybe more visible, right?
Mm.
And at the same time, it'd be further back and you might be able to put some flowers or shrubs around it, because otherwise it's going to look very plain.
Mm.
You just stick it there in the grass.
One of the things I did was with a friend, I took a full-size letter and tested it. And when we made the sign higher, it seemed to sort of almost flap in the breeze a little bit. It seemed to want to hug the land a bit.
Mhm.
So, but I think we'll do a plywood sort of mock-up
Yeah.
and move it around and make sure it's as visible as possible, because the tree is there as well, right?
Right.
So
but
we need
this would-
to,
If it's
yeah.
back, the tree might be
maybe,
less
yeah, it's tricky,
in
but
the
yeah,
way.
yeah.
Sounds
But-
like you're gonna vet it thoroughly.
Yeah,
Awesome.
I think it's a wonderful venue and I move to approve.
And I will second.
Okay. Then all in favor?
Aye.
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 Wunderbar.
great. Thank you. Thank you for your support.
Well,
Good luck with it all.
You want me to go get him?
Hmm?
Want me to go get him?
Yeah.
You
you-
might need to sign something before you go.
he's coming.
It's
Okay.
safe.
Yeah, the usual document that says you're going to build it as planned.
Hi. I felt like you shot me. Oh. Hi.
Nice job.
Yes,
Yeah.
totally. Well, I'll see you at the church, at the hall. Yeah. Nice to see you.
Good to see you again, Sarah.
Bye-bye.
Listing of the, how you do, okay. I didn't get one. Oh, it's on the back, okay.
Mhm.
How is this one tabled? Because it's a fairly straight.
No, because there was no one here.
Maybe they weren't here. Somebody wasn't here.
Because there was no one
The
here.
next item is concerned with expanding the kitchen and closing the front porch at 140 Cranberry Lane. The Robinson Compost is the owner,
Yes,
the Robinson?
yes, I'm Robinson. He's my son. Israel.
But, okay. So, now we thought we would address it 2 weeks ago, and no one showed, so
We
we
never saw
we ended
the
up
email.
tabling it.
We never saw the mail,
Ah,
so we didn't know there was a meeting.
Yeah,
Sorry
sorry about that.
Sorry.
You're here now.
Sorry about
Exactly.
that.
The stone work, you're gonna do real stone work. It's not a facade or anything, right?
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
gonna be real stone.
Is that what you guys do or?
No,
Okay.
no, not really.
And is that right up against the wall or is that out a ways?
It's right against the wall.
against
So
the
instead
wall.
of having the shingles in place,
Yeah.
we're gonna just put the stones there.
Okay,
It's a,
against concrete.
yes, yes. Yes, you
I
have
I had a problem with that myself. Um, You know, it's only, it's a picture and you got it someplace and put it into, it was Photoshop.
Yeah, I use the quarter draw. It's
Yeah.
the same program.
Yeah,
Mhm.
but it really doesn't fit in with the rest of the house unless if it were like a flower box, you know, or a planter, I guess you call it. If that stone wall was not attached to the house like a veneer, but was 18 inches or so away, and that was filled with soil, and you can have things growing in it. But to do it as a veneer like this, I don't think it works.
Is that because you like the looks of it?
Ele tá perguntando se você quer colocar essa pedra porque você gosta de como.
Yeah, eu acho bonito spacing rock. But
Yeah.
It's just
eu quero depois fazer o revestimento da chimney.
It matches the chimney, though, right?
yeah. What his idea is because he also he likes to look,
I mean, I
but
think
also
that's the
because he
whole
wants to cover
thing,
the
the
chimney
connector.
with the same stone look.
Oh, so
later
the
on.
chimney's gonna
The
be.
chimney
not
now,
Currently there?
what's with
No,
the chimney
no,
now?
right now it's-
Chimney is brick now, but if he's gonna do this to the chimney, that would tie it in.
Yeah,
That's the.
Because that
plan.
looks nice with the chimney. Are you gonna do this to the chimney? What's in
Yeah.
this picture?
yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Also-
that would tie in that bottom part.
Yes, yes.
Does the
we're
chimney
eventually-
already have stone on it?
No, the chimney is just bricks,
Okay.
just regular.
Is it a
regular-
functioning chimney?
Yes, but
Okay.
we're not use. It is a function chimney, but we don't use it much.
Furnace. Yeah, I think if you're gonna do that to the chimney, I think
I still wouldn't do a veneer. My first house in Poughkeepsie had very nice antique-ish brick facing on selected sides. And it had the same brick used as a planter. The planter was 3 or 4 feet high because the garage was under the house. And you went up a few steps to the doorway. But I would not, even if it's the same as the chimney, I wouldn't use it as a veneer. Because the house is quite wide. You know, you have the garage and a section of housing, everything where the shingles go all the way to the bottom. And it sets a tone or, you know, a feeling about the house that is normal. And then to have a small section with the veneer, if you did that whole entryway right up to the roof, practically, with stonework or veneer,
You
would
think
be
that
one
would be
thing,
better?
but just to put it across the bottom like that, it just doesn't seem to work.
Ele falou que não vai muito com o look da casa. Ele falou que uma outra ideia poderia ser de ir até o topo.
Is the chimney going to be in your kitchen?
Yeah, so right now the chimney, I think you can see in the picture there, it has a little space on the port, the back of the chimney. The chimney faces the living room, but the back of the chimney faces the porch,
Which is going to be your kitchen.
which is gonna be the kitchen. So yeah.
Oh, is the
so
chimney
eventually-
going to be in the kitchen?
in the kitchen? Yeah, so eventually it's gonna be probably painted or something.
Okay.
But it's
inside.
exposed brick in the kitchen.
Yeah, yeah. It is. I mean, it looks a little nice. Once everything's finished, you have a brick-looking, chimney in the middle.
Mhm.
It's all right. It's cool.
So I have a question. So progressing from right to left, starting with the outside garage door on the right, moving past your enclosed, what had been a porch, and you're going to enclose that. And including the stonework, that's all on the same plane, correct? Now, and then when you move to the left of that, where the bay window is that projecting out from that?
But the porch is actually projecting in a little bit.
Yeah.
It's maybe a foot.
From the rest of the
from
house?
The rest of the house.
On both sides?
Both sides.
No,
Okay.
no.
No, it doesn't look like it's on both sides.
Just on the side with the bay window.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not.
Yep.
Really sure. Você lembra se o porte ele é
It looks like from the rendering, everything from the right corner and including your proposed stonework is on one plane, and then it juts out.
Right.
only
a
on,
foot or
only on the
so.
left side?
Right.
Mhm.
That's what it looks like. So that being the case, you could move that stone forward so the face of it would be in line with the same plane as contains the bay window. Or your other option, as was suggested by the chairman, is you could make that entire face from the left side of the door to the break where the bay window is.
Right.
That could all be stone.
Right.
Either one of those, I think, would probably
So
look
either-
better than having
Just
this stone right
against
on the
wall.
same plane essentially as the enclosed
Got it.
porch. Do you
You
follow
could-
what I'm saying?
I would
Okay.
invite you to come over to my house and see that very thing,
Hmm,
because
That would be good.
my front door is recessed with a porch coming over it. And that whole wall where the door is and the window is all stonework,
Mhm.
which matches my chimney,
Oh, actually.
which is, on the other side of the house.
So if you're agreeable to either of those two options, we could move to approve this application with that amended.
Got it. Can I just? talk
Or if you would rather, you can think about it, we can table the application until the next meeting and you can think and decide.
Pois, let me just translate real quick. So, ele falou que com essas duas opções de ou então trazer as pedras mais para frente e colocar terra ali para, no caso, colocar plantação de alguma coisa, mesmo areia na casa que você quer, só que não colocar direto na parede, ou então fazer a parede inteira de pedra.
Because
Se você quiser,
stonework is expensive.
It could go right up to the ridge. Yeah, but moving it forward
Yeah, that's
wouldn't be a big deal.
I think that's a nice idea.
I don't like
Okay.
that.
Like it like that.
If they're doing the veneering work themselves,
Plan was for it to be a
it's
planter.
not that expensive.
Yeah.
construir
No, I know.
And do the chimney, that's a lot of work.
para ficar reto com a sala. E
Sure.
aquela parte
Yeah.
ali, só parte de baixo. no caso.
Solid full stone wouldn't be a veneer.
I don't, that's what he's saying.
Em vez de a
Well, no,
pedra
but
ficar
I suppose you
flush,
could do
a parede
a
vai ficar para frente.
Yeah, it's best.
Mas pode ser só os pés.
Mhm.
Você entendeu, né?
E trazer parede para frente da casa.
So when you mentioned about bringing the stone closer to the road, right? Does the whole wall will be
No, just
No, no,
like making
no.
a planter. So making
Like a
this into a
planter.
planter a foot deep,
got it?
so that the planter, the front face of the planter lines up with the left part of the house.
Instead of it being just
Instead
flat,
of-
Got
you'd
it.
make it
Instead of it being a
deeper.
veneer on the house, being actually a planter.
Yeah.
Got it.
So it's a different function than just a veneer.
Understood.
Because as it is, the house, when you go from the garage door all the way over here, all the way here, it's all one plane. And
Yeah.
it looks kind of blah, because it's not broken up at all. When there was a porch there was a recess. So that this is one plane, then this went down, then this came out. So it had some variation in the house,
and it would be flush with the other part of the house.
Part of the house.
So I have just one more question that's
course.
separate than this. When it was recessed, you had this small window, but now you've got it pulled forward, so it's
Yeah. So
with
we-
the house.
Yeah.
It seems to me, I could be alone in this, but it seems to me a normal sized window would look better there. Does anybody
I agree.
feel that way?
Yeah.
I don't,
No.
this picture as is now,
Yeah.
Yes.
the window there looks like a big window.
And on the porch?
On
Yeah.
the way side.
Not really. It's
There's
it's
a
this big.
door and a window, isn't
It's a
it?
little
Yeah,
window.
I'm thinking 6 over 6 or
It's
whatever,
big.
the
It's big of a
double,
window.
double hung.
Two windows there.
Not really that big.
Yeah, but like 4 foot, three by 4,
I think so.
Yeah.
24 by 4.
That's what we want to add. Not
Yeah. A
that's
bigger
why we
window.
have a bigger window.
So this is probably rendition is misleading us. The picture, this is
It just
misleading
looks
us.
better with a
Yeah.
little bit bigger window.
Yes, it
Yeah.
definitely does. That's what we want. A bigger window.
Yeah.
And o negócio da pedra é aquele, no caso, tenderia a parede só onde vai ficar a pedra.
Ok.
Só onde vai ficar a pedra. A pedra vai sair para fora e ele vai ter barro, entendeu?
Entendi.
Para plantar coisas se precisar.
Ah, perfeito. Entendi. Estende e a rock e aí na frente entre o rock e o wall
Isso.
tem terra e faz. Oh, perfeito.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like
Yeah,
that.
we'll go with that one.
Yeah. I like your idea.
Okay.
So we're going with the pulling it forward, and having it deeper, and having it the same height as it is in this rendering, correct?
Então, vai
We're talking about the stone, just the stone.
só a
It's
pedra.
going to, it's going to
Yes.
look like this exactly, except it's going to have depth to it.
And there'll be you could use
So
it as
that the
planter.
front face of it will be on the same plane as this portion of the house with the bay window.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes.
We like that
your
idea? All right.
Good idea. Yeah.
I move to approve the application as amended.
I second.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All in favor,
Aye.
as amended?
Aye.
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 Thank you.
What language?
Portuguese.
I thought
Portuguese. Brazilian Portuguese, not Portuguese.
Yeah,
Oh,
not Portuguese one.
oh,
Portuguese
okay.
from Portugal. Yeah.
Lisa does.
Portuguese Brazilian.
Those dos.
I don't have
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Very welcome.
You're welcome. Good luck.
Wait, you have to sign. You have to sign.
Bring any of those amendment sheets.
Right, yeah.
You're welcome. Let me get it worked out. Here we go.
New sheet.
Yeah. Yeah, it's nice. Who's gonna do this, the work on the roof? Yeah,
On the chimney, you mean?
yeah,
A lot of customers
okay,
do this.
good. All right,
I do signs.
yeah. So they, yeah, everybody,
I have a lot of friends.
Good.
who do this job.
gotcha.
If you,
Chimney, right?
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
so you sign it here, just saying you're going to do it.
Next year I do the chimney.
Okay. Now you only have a year though, right?
No, you're not going to do the chimney yet. You're going to wait on that. Is that what you're saying?
Oh, yeah, no, I bet it's.
Got a really good friend to do it this year.
It just says that you're going to do it according to plan. If you're going to make changes, let us know. But the part of putting up the new wall and the new door and window, that can move ahead. You know. Yeah.
Having this approved, and we can move ahead with the building department now.
I think so, yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll pull all this documentation together. I'll send you guys an email with this attached to it, and I'll copy the building department so that they'll know that you're good to go.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, sure.
He's asking about the paper to put against the wall and to start.
Oh, that your permit, that you have they'll give it to you from the building department.
Yep. building
Yeah.
department. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
once you pay them.
Yeah.
Then you get the paper.
Oh, wait, did they have?
Good
to
night.
sign-
You're
does he have to
welcome.
sign this?
Bye-bye.
Got a new form this. Lisa just gave me this new form, so. It's her signature, but- Oops.
Oh, look who's coming back to the,
Steve Kelly,
as I live and breathe.
ELLY. STEPHEN.
Ah.
So I named my daughter Catherine just to get a little payback.
Why?
Long.
Spelling the name, just
See?
all the different ways you can spell Catherine.
Oh, so how did you spell hers?
KATHERINE.
Ah, okay. I immediately
No
assumed
Y,
why.
no C, no.
Fancy stuff, modern spellings.
No, you'd think
Well,
Stephen Kelly
misspellings.
would be the easiest name in the world. and
Yeah.
Not if you want it legal.
I know you're gonna pull these, so,
Yes, I'm not sure the exact procedure, but
Right.
it's going to have to go back to design. And I think originally it was a Vivint project and we're going through the transition to bring it over to Sunrun. So we're going to go back and my assistant Greta does a fantastic job doing the ARBs and
what's an ARB?
the, what is it?
Architectural Review Board here.
It's the whatever they,
Rendering?
the renderings.
It might be like CAD, but ARB.
Yeah, three-dimensional.
Yeah, because it's.
But you know, we've been doing these enough. We know the rules and what we can not get away with, but what's allowed, what's permitted. And apparently those have panels on the front. And like I said, I didn't get by the homes today. I know that the early Redberry probably would not have passed.
Mm-mm.
And the other one may have had a shot, but you know, again, it's,
I don't think so.
So
I hadn't driven by either. And I do like to see them before I,
Doesn't seem necessary either. I mean, in all fairness, again, this is all off the record because he hasn't read you in yet. You want me to stop talking so you can?
shut the camera off.
No, no.
Okay, so we'll call out the project and you'll have to tell us that you're withdrawing it at this point, and we will accept the withdrawal with no consequences.
I moved.
So the first item, yeah. We have a motion to untable from 2 weeks ago. The item 2 on our agenda tonight carried over Sunrun Installations for a home at 6 Rise Knoll Path. Homeowner Eileen Skiver.
So I moved to untable.
I'll second.
All in favor on tabling?
Aye.
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 Okay, so Steve, you can tell us what you want to do here.
We'd like to withdraw the application for the
Okay,
solar panels.
okay. And you'll go back and come up with
Correct.
something else. if you
Figure out
will.
if it's a viable project or if we're done.
Good, okay. So we'll accept that withdrawal and
Shall I-
without prejudice. And so if you come back, we'll be coming back with a clean slate.
Very good. Thank you.
Okay. So all in favor of accepting this withdrawal?
Aye.
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 Now we'll move on to the last item, which is installation of solar panels at 52 Early Redberry Lane. Again, Sunrun Installations and Harrison Aguilar is the owner. So we will ask for that to be untabled.
I moved to untable Harrison Aguirre, a Sunrun installation.
Second.
All in favor? Cindy?
Aye.
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 Okay. So what is the word on this, Steve?
That Sunrun would like to withdraw the application for solar panels at 52 Early Redberry Lane.
Okay. So a motion to accept?
I move to accept.
Second.
Okay.
Finish line.
Okay. So all those in favor
Aye.
of
Aye.
accepting this? Aye.
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 Okay.
Thank you.
Does he have to sign
Thank you
it?
for
Need
coming.
signatures?
No, that I know.
Okey-dokey.
I don't see, do you?
Yeah,
do
there's,
you have this
I'll
one?
email you, there's a couple, I'll just email you some forms
There's
just saying
probably
we
one that
withdrawn
just
and
is
then we can
specifically
Okay.
go from
for.
there. I don't have any with me, but I'll email those. You can just fill them out.
So
and send them back.
she should have
It's,
that.
I mean,
Okay,
it's not
great.
on our
Are you
meeting.
emailing
No,
those
no,
to
this was
East
from last
Mass?
week.
Okay.
The
East
flagpole.
Oh,
Mass
the flag-
permits?
Oh, that's her. Isn't that her?
Right.
Or probably to,
I'm not sure.
you could be
I'll leave it
emailing them also
outside
to
then.
Greta.
Yeah.
Possibly, yeah, I'm not sure. If you want to write down the correct email, here, write it down here, and then I'll make sure I'll send it to the right one. so that-
An hour and a half to do today. You know, I usually run out and do shit.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right, I'll do that.
Thank you.
Am I the only one that had this in my packet
All set?
from last week?
Good.
Thanks, Steve.
Thank you. See you soon, I hope.
Good night.
Okay,
If you hear you were the last one in the room, I'm like, oh, neighbor. Good deal.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Good night.
good night.
Lisa's driver.
So there are a couple of other things that I want to discuss. One,
Does she sit in front or back?
Bob took a look at these Tesla solar roof. And
Yeah, I went by
you've
too.
probably all been out there one time or another before or after it was
I feel
done.
like I
or
should
after-
recuse myself because he's not
And
an owner or anything.
he went out on a nice sunny day, get a good view, and sent out pictures of it, which you all got, and with his comments as to liking or to not liking. And I don't know, what does everybody think about that?
Well, I was shocked, frankly, when I went by, because they're not, we've had solar shingles in the past, which just haven't survived years and years ago because they're expensive. And it was like, you had to pierce the roof for each shingle and it just, I agree with Rob. I did not like them. It was, but I did not like them. And I have to say, I think it's because I'm not used to them. So I've thought a lot about it. I wouldn't think that we would deny the solar shingles any more than we would deny the solar panels. You know, in the case of, are they visually impactful? And who they are going to impact. So I don't think they're solving the problem, if you will.
Yeah, they could use more texture.
Yeah.
So that it looks more like a shingle.
But I did think also too, I mean, today we had to deal with the red metal roof or brown metal roof. It was more brown than red. And, you know, I was thinking, you know, it used to be all roofs were either thatch or they were cedar shingles.
Yeah, shingles. Yeah.
And at some point, we had to move on from that and accept asphalt shingles, which we are now realizing are not a great solution because they are horrible for landfill and they break and they fly around and they end up everywhere. So I don't know. I think we're in a period of transition. We're gonna have to be somewhat flexible, I think, to go with the changing times. That's my statement.
I like the new ones. I
Good.
like the fact that it looks like a roof.
Mhm.
You don't have separate panels sticking up.
I kind of feel like this is a transitional product as well, that Tesla has done a better job of presenting the solar look without the raised panels. I hope that they'll continue to refine the products
Yeah.
so that it will end up looking, you know, even just changing it to a matte finish or a matte finish with texture to it. Which I am not that familiar with the Tesla shingles, and I don't know why they couldn't do that when they're manufacturing them.
No, that's innate in the solar
add some more cost to them.
exchange.
I don't know. I
Just a-
sent out my email fairly late this afternoon.
It was-
Chronic
I thought it was
procrastinator.
really well written.
So I don't know if y'all had a chance to read it. I think part of the problem I had was I was expecting something else. When I listened and watched the videos as well as going over to look at the roofs. And what we were told, and I guess this is what was his name who presented? Yeah, I guess this is what he thought was going to happen. He mentioned that these panels or these shingles, as he described them, were 1 foot 4 inches long. They're clearly longer than that. And that they were going to be scored somehow so that they would appear to be 3 separate shingles. They're not. So instead of having shingles or the appearance of shingles, what you've got is this long, essentially unrelieved or nearly unrelieved line going across all the way from.
It almost looked like you used siding.
Yeah, that's what I.
Clapboard.
That's exactly. It looks like a clapboarded roof, and on 27 Magnolia, with that, I assume it's vinyl. I didn't go up and tap on it, but with the siding being horizontal and the roof being horizontal, it gives it I think I wrote a monumental monotony. It just looked like lines, and then it's shiny too. And you know, that's another thing. I was expecting texture, and it's not, if they're textured, you can't see it from ground level. It looks like a smooth plane.
There is a little texture on them.
Yeah.
Because he did have a sample that we.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's different when you're looking at something like this, and then you're standing looking at a roof.
Right.
So.
The bumps that you see close up don't look so bumpy when they're further away.
Right.
Yeah.
Just one big glare.
And I don't know,
You're gonna have
you know,
problems with neighbors and glare too. I think.
and I don't know whether this is from a manufacturing point of view feasible or not, but it would seem to me that you should, I liked what he said about these shingles, as he called them, being scored, and he didn't use the word score, but that was what my mind interpreted what he was saying, so that it read it's separate shingles. That would help a lot, I think.
That's why I say there may be some of that built in, but it's too subtle.
Yeah.
That when you stand away from it, you don't see it. that
Yeah.
averages out. And you just see the steps.
I mean,
as who was
Yeah.
signing.
I think it's a work in progress. It seems to me that it should get better with a little more thought and,
Does this one not do anything for you either?
well, it's up high and it's not a steep pitch. And so it's better just from that vantage, but it's the same roof. I mean, it's a, that's the same roof as the other point that I wanted to make, which is kind of a lesser point, but we evaluated that application in June when everything was in full leaf. And so there was a lot of talk about you can't see that back roof. Well, you can see that back roof. Now it's in a cul-de-sac, so it's not a huge deal, but there's a lot of it. And I think we need to be mindful of trees and vegetation obscuring roofs. It depends on the time of year.
Definitely.
And we've had a couple of other applications that that I think we collectively visualize as being minimally visible because you're looking at them from an oblique angle and not head on, and maybe they're on a section of the roof that's not close to the road. But then when you actually drive by and look at these roofs, you see them. They're noticeable. So all of that was part of what I was thinking when I went over and looked at these roofs. And
Yeah, it's one of these things like everything else. If they put them on all the roofs in a particular area and they all look like that,
Yeah.
all alike, it wouldn't look too good. I mean, if you go down any street now, they all have different color shingles. Seldom do you see 2 or 3 houses together that have all, say, light gray, and then all black on this street. And so you have some variety, some brown thrown in there and red or whatever, but it's just, you don't want everything to be all the same. And
So do they want a written comment from the group here? the
I
committee?
think he was looking for, if you guys could you could send an email back to him just saying what your comments are, like what you've been saying tonight. He was just looking for feedback. That was the first 2 houses that have been, have those type of panels installed. And he was just looking for feedback because I know that, he talked with you guys over last summer or something, and he was, was
Was
interested in
there
your
any
opinion.
disclosure about how much more expensive those are?
I don't know if they guys talked about that or not. I don't
Right,
know.
probably not. That's not.
it's not,
It's not really
terrible.
relevant.
Yeah.
Okay, another topic, solar panels. The chairman of Dennis, Dennis has a whole area south of Setauket Road where you could get an exemption to put up solar panels. And seemed to work for them, and they've got certain criteria that they used. And with that write-up that he had, which has been in effect for a couple of years, probably more like 5 years, Jim Wilson and myself have met a couple of times and discussed possibilities. And these are our thoughts on this
An exempt
for
area.
you to read over. And there's a section of the bulletin where we could insert this. And it's dealing with an exemption for flush-mounted, non-glossy, you don't want real shiny, all black rooftop solar panel arrays that are affixed to single-family residential dwellings, less than 75 years old, the house, so we don't want it on antiques. And also not on contributing properties for the National Register of Historic Buildings and Sites, and not visible on 6A or any other designated scenic road. There are a few in the town, Town of Yarmouth Scenic Roads has a plot, maybe upstairs on a wall or someplace, but it indicates, for example, in yellow, 6A. And then in green, it comes up Weir Road all the way to North Dennis Road. And then there's some other on the western section of town, Pleasant Street, this purple Thatcher Shore Road, Wharf Lane, and Mill Lane are all these scenic roads. And, you know, even to cut a tree down there, you have to get permission. And I've sat in on meetings to discuss that. And so that get into this list that we have of, that in order to do that, you'd have to come in, like you fill out a form for an exemption now, if you want to put up a shed. And if the shed is 120 square feet or less and meets various other criteria, you could get an exemption to have a shed built with the plot plan and drawings of it. In this case, the plot plan, you'd still have showing the location of the house on the property and relative to other neighbors as well. And show the location of the panels.
So may I interrupt, Richard, and ask, is this the exemption that Dennis adopted?
Not, it's similar.
Okay.
A couple of little changes. For example, Dennis doesn't say anything about the color of the roof.
Uh-huh.
And this says roof shingles shall be of a dark color to blend with the solar panel array.
Mm.
And that, of course, we've treated several recently that went on black roofs.
Mhm.
In fact, there was one up near the library where the homeowners came to our meeting and said that if the solar panels are approved, then they will come in with a request to change the shingles to black, which I signed off on it as an exemption, because you can do that if you're putting black shingles on a house. It's one of those things you can, like painting a house white. You don't need a committee for that. So that was added, that the roof shingles should be a dark color. Because the solar panels show up very well on a light colored roof, particularly if you're saying you want black ones to begin with.
I'm a little bit worried we're at non-glossy. I don't know of a solar panel that's non-glossy.
There are some, when you're driving around, when the route that I take to go swimming twice a week, 3 times a week, I go by a lot of solar panels, and some of them really stand out. They're very shiny. And they,
It's not the light of it at the time of day.
no, I go through there rainy days, sunny days, cloudy days, you know.
We might
Some
need
of them
to-
on the north side of their houses as well.
Yeah.
I wonder if those are older panels.
I checked the age on a few. I called up companies, because you can go, once you have the address of the house, you can go online and find out what company installed them.
Right.
and Typically, what kind they are, what the wattage is. And I've called different companies, Because some of them looked really nice, I thought.
Mhm.
And I wanted to know what kind of panels they were.
Yeah. And then the other thing that the roof length equal to or less than 50 feet,
Yeah,
you're trying to keep it from, like, for instance, we approved recently, I forget what the building was for, but it's right at the ramps for Route 6 on Willow Street, and they're gonna repaint.
right. On Willow, that
Yeah.
white one.
So their roofs obviously are gonna be longer, so they would have to come in. You can't give them an exemption, they'd have
yeah.
to come
One
in,
of the things we're trying to do is,
make it easy.
for architectural purposes, when somebody comes in with a new house,
Yeah.
we don't like the roofs to be more than 50 feet.
Oh.
Because after a while, it looks like a barracks,
Uh-huh.
the old World War II barracks. And so you've got to break that up.
Mhm.
And you do it by pulling part of the house out a foot, like that one on Cranberry tonight. That had long roofs, but they were broken up.
So would you have to add something to allow the 50 feet to be one route, one span, it no longer
It
than
would
50?
have to go before the committee.
Okay, all right.
Because you wouldn't be able to okay it
Automatically.
right,
Okay.
as an exemption.
And the same thing with the height, 35 feet, you're thinking now if you want to put it on a
That's-
dormer, for instance, now you kind of, you have to come in.
Yeah, one of the things that's again, architecturally, I think they came up with the 35 feet because most towns, you can't build a house more than 35 feet tall.
Right.
So they threw that in.
Okay. And then the 7/12 pitch.
712 pitch, they had a lower pitch in Dennis. And I thought that we usually want new construction to have
nice
7-inch pitch minimum.
Yeah.
So most of them that you'll see in
More
town
of a pitch.
are 7, 8,
Okay.
9, 12,
Mhm.
up in there. And so we didn't want it to be contradictory.
Yeah. And what about the visual gaps or disjointed sections? I mean, clearly they have to leave room for chimneys and vent pipes and stuff
Right.
like that.
Yeah, and
So again, then
skylights.
you got to come in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we have, I was going to mention too, I have a meeting next Tuesday, not tomorrow, a week. An appeal from Brewster. They were putting like 30 odd solar panels on a house and it got denied. So the homeowner is coming to get that reviewed at the commission level. And so that'll be an interesting discussion on that. I've been out to see the house and I've looked at it on Google and thought about it, listened to the meeting, the videos. And that had skylights on it and they were tended to look like pretty busy. And it was suggested that they just make it a big rectangle. And if they had done that, they may have gotten it approved. But they didn't want to.
Contiguous, yeah.
The homeowners were pushing for as many solar panels as they could on the house. And they were putting them all around skylights. And so
The 75 years,
yes,
how did you arrive at that?
I think they had originally 100.
Yeah.
And we felt that if a house was built after like 1950, and it's fairly modern to
Yeah.
begin with, and maybe we could allow.
So in a case like, do you remember the Cottonwood application, the
Yep,
guy that kept coming
Cottonwood,
back?
right.
I don't know how old those houses are, but they might be younger than 75 years old.
Yeah, I would think so.
So that would mean that that application would have been,
It probably, yeah,
Accepted.
except he had the pattern broken up because of a vent,
yeah,
remember?
yeah, that's true. See, I worry about that because
And we
of the,
told them to put the vent on the back,
Yeah.
yeah,
and they wouldn't do it.
yeah.
So-
You know, one of the things that I liked about the new bulletin is this final paragraph on the opening page. Within the district are located original examples of the many periods in American architecture dating back to the 17th, 18th, 19th, and 20th centuries. Unlike many other historic districts that only reflect a specific time in architectural history, the regional district reflects a changing evolution as a living district with more than 45,000 residents. Change is constant. So, one of the interesting things about sitting at this table is that we get to see all these interesting little neighborhoods that otherwise you wouldn't see.
Go out there at all.
And Cottonwood Street is one of those neighborhoods. It just has it has a certain charm and a certain consistency that I would hate to see disrupted.
Isn't Cottonwood the one with the blue house?
Cottonwood Street, you know where Cottonwood Street is?
Yeah, isn't it
It's
the one
near,
with
it's
blue
near the house with the shingles on the roof, the solar shingles.
Okay. Off
You
of
could-
West
you could-
Yarmouth Road. The one that we
Yeah.
looked at this weekend. Yeah, yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
There's a
area.
blue house in there.
Well, there could be.
Yeah. That's right by
That's-
Route 6. You can hear it. Yeah.
Right.
Well, I think this is a step in the right direction.
Well, one of the reasons doing this
I think it's a
is
slippery
if
slope.
we implement something like this, it will get, what is he, state senator or congressman or something?
Sear?
Sear
Yeah.
has been pushing for
Yeah.
change.
Yeah.
And changes by that group might be much
lot more
more
radical.
radical than
Yeah.
we would like to do.
Mhm.
And so we thought we'd throw this out
Yeah.
and see how the other town, all the towns, the 6 towns think about this
Yeah.
and then implement it. And potentially we'd implement it in May. We're going to discuss this at the end of our commission meeting next week. And then we'll get, comments from the other towns and incorporate them and see if we can get something.
I would be happier with less than 50 years of age. Personally,
50.
I would be happier with 50 because that puts it after 1970.
70.
And there's a big difference between 1950s architecture and 1970s architecture. So,
But the
50s being ranch houses.
Cottonwood.
yeah,
Cottonwood may be around 70.
it could be. It could be. I have to.
Do you
I have
want to state it as a year, number of years, or a particular year?
Right.
Because
You want it to keep
if it's stated as
post
either
1980.
Post dates
1980.
next year.
or 1970, whatever, but I think a specific year versus the sliding
Yeah, 'cause
scale
that's-
that would
well,
be.
for
the-
one thing, every year it changes.
That's right. It
That's
changes
right.
every year.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if you nail it down to, say, 1950 or 1970, whatever, then
Yeah.
it's fixed.
Yeah.
Which is what they're asking for, a fixed time.
Yeah.
Rather than, yeah.
I think the further we get away from the confusion of antique being the same thing as historic,
Yeah.
the better. So,
Mhm.
yeah, that would be,
Are we welcome to come and sit in on the discussion then at the
Sure.
commission meeting?
Yeah, I don't think we'd be open for discussion
Right,
with everybody.
comment, but
but you
to
can
listen,
You
yeah.
can do a listen in.
And what time, when is that meeting? Do you remember?
I
I
think
can
it's
ask.
1:30 Tuesday,
Tuesday, 1:30-ish? I can look it up.
1:30,
Mhm. And it's is it still at the firehouse?
Firehouse,
Yeah.
Barnstable.
Mhm. I might sit in.
anything else?
So think about this and let me know your thoughts on it. We won't be meeting before I meet with the commission, but we won't be acting on it right away anyway. So I can give you feedback on what went on at that meeting and incorporate your thoughts on it then. Okay,
All right.
so do I hear a motion to adjourn?
I move to adjourn.
Second.
Favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. Lisa.